Well, it's going to be a hot and dry summer. The Weather Bureau says there's now a full-blown El Niño weather pattern bearing down on Australia, bringing hot weather and a lot less rain to the east coast. Worse still, like a drunken dinner guest, it'll be sticking around for a long time, with models indicating the El Niño might be here until autumn. Will Ockenden spoke to Dr Carl Braganza from the Bureau's National Climate Centre.
Well, currently the El Niño has matured, so what we say is that it's now developed into a classical El Niño, and at this time of the year, that's often when you expect to see a mature El Niño event sort of coming into summer and the end of springtime.
And you're saying it's going to be the warmest since 2002?
The warmest is really, we monitor Central Pacific sea surface temperatures, and there's kind of a threshold. Once they go up above a certain value, then we say that there's been an El Niño in the Pacific Ocean. And all year it's sort of been hovering just above those threshold levels, but now it's pushed through to well above those levels, and the last time we saw that was in, I think, October 2002 or sometime.
What's going to happen to the wet season up in the north with these types of conditions?
The impact of El Niño tends to kind of break down over the summer period for eastern Australia, and I guess what our outlook is showing is that it's still looking like it's going to be dry over northern Queensland. The Indian Ocean has warmed up a little bit, and those warmer ocean temperatures tend to bring a bit of moisture over to the northwest. So the outlook is looking okay for the northwest in terms of the monsoon.
So what kind of weather will we expect with a pretty bad El Niño?
It's hard to say. I mean, you can get weak El Niño events that have a large impact on Australia, and you can have strong El Niño effects where the effects aren't felt so much. Usually during an El Niño event, you get warmer than average temperatures across eastern Australia, and that's certainly what we've seen this year, and it's certainly what the models are indicating will be over summer.
Dr Carl Braganza from the National Climate Centre speaking to Will Ockenden. 26 past you. Good to have you along this afternoon. This hour we're going to hear from the National Climate Centre in Canberra, who is now saying there's a full-blown El Niño pattern bearing down on Australia, signalling a long, hot summer for farmers and graziers. And we'll check in with the grape harvest around Mundubbera as well, or at least Scott Lamond will, our local reporter in that part of the world. First, though, amidst much fanfare, the sugar industry has finally revealed the company it hopes will develop the world's first fully commercialised GM cane right here in Australia. At a breakfast in Brisbane this morning, Chief Executive of the BSES, Ian Wallace, announced multinational company DuPont as the co-signatories to a contract. The deal will see DuPont provide the gene technology and BSES the local expertise to ensure Australia isn't beaten by Brazil in the race for genetically modified cane. Mr Wallace, CEO of the BSES, explains why this company is the right choice.
DuPont is a worldwide company. They have access to the technologies we need, and they also would like to have access to some of the technologies we have. So it's an alliance that's going to be mutually beneficial.
What's their track record in this field like in genetic modification of cane?
No one's got a track